Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. I'm sitting here with so many technical difficulties. Oh, and I was about to say, and so has Joe got technical difficulties, but he made it. Excellent.
Made it
Happy
just
Monday,
in time.
Joe.
Just in time. Yeah, it's having camera issues. Like, oh, let me just reboot my computer. So it's working now. So good.
All right. So right now we're good. Excellent.
Yes.
Excellent. Hey, so how was your weekend?
It was good. Same old,
Yeah,
charts.
yeah. So did you ever make up that money you lost in the
No,
oh
no,
boy. Oh boy.
sure did it. It's
Sorry to hear
it's much
that.
easier to make money when you have money, but then when you ruin your account by like, I want to say 50%, it's much harder because now you got to do 100% just to make up that 50%.
Right.
So I'm working at it though. It's gonna take some
All
time.
right.
So it's all right.
All right. Well, I'm thumbs up. Let's hope here. Let's hope.
Yes.
Yeah, for those who don't know, Joe was telling us all about how much she had lost in some trades on
Sleep
crypto on the rocks on
deprivation
Friday,
and
man.
trading don't mix. Mm.
Yes. Mm. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Hey, listen, if you're new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button, tick that bell icon, click the all. We do this every Monday morning. Joe and I, we talk various things on the market. Joe goes through the Bitcoin chart, and sometimes, if you ask nice, he'll go through some other charts for you too. So, we got a lot of stuff to go over. Well, a lot of stuff, but there's been a lot of things in the market. I don't know if you've noticed it, Joe. I mean, a lot of things starting to percolate in the crypto market and related spaces. And I just tried to pick out a couple of things to just, basically cherry pick a couple of things here to see, throw out for everybody today. And appreciate everybody being here. If you're here, check in on the live chat, please. All right. So here's the first thing I wanted to bring. I now again, it doesn't necessarily have anything specific to do. I know this is from Saifedean Ammous, who has wrote the Bitcoin Standard and that kind of thing, and a lot of Bitcoin maxis love to all about it. That's like the holy grail. But what he wrote here, I thought was very apt. Your groceries aren't becoming more expensive. Your money is becoming less valuable. Your supermarket is not the problem. Your central bank is. And I thought that was poignant because, how many times do you listen to one side of the political aisle say they're price gouging, yeah, okay, Kroger's or whatever, store is not sitting here trying to gouge you that extra 2% for your groceries. No, that's not the freaking problem. The money is the problem. So I thought that was kind of pertinent. Yeah, anything you want to throw in on that, Joe?
I think you have to be very low IQ to accept that as fact. Oh, price gouging. Well, let me vote for you because I don't want price gouging. There is no price gouging. The only thing that I can associate price gouging is when there's like a shortage of water. So
Yes.
instead of $4 or $5, now it's
Yes.
$30. Same thing with hand sanitizer. When it used to be $1, but now they're charging $22 for it. That's price gouging.
Yes.
What she's telling these low IQ people who are going to be voting for her, or for that person, is going to be,
It's okay.
it's going to be people who don't very low IQ, very low IQ. Like if you believe that, man, I got some oceanside property in the desert. Let me talk to you.
Amen. I should probably follow this up with the national debt, but I'm going to give you a chance to. I know you were working on rebooting your computer. We'll give you a chance to get your meds in you.
Oh,
But
I took my meds. You're a reminder on a Monday. You're a reminder.
I'm the reminder to take your blood pressure meds. I love it.
I
I
tell you
love it.
what,
Hey,
man, because that
automatic
thing gets
beats
me
in the
heated up.
house. Welcome, sir. Appreciate you. Yes, yes, indeed.
And it's funny too, in reference to what you were just talking about, where the Joe Biden, who I guess we can say his name, Super Bowl commercial, where he was, shrinkflation and my
Yes,
ice cream and everything's getting smaller. It's the same price, but it's smaller. They have to do that. They have
yes,
to reduce their cost, but the expense of us because now it's reducing the price, but it's because the materials cost more. So if we want the same price, it has to be reduced what we get, or it can be the same size, but now we have to pay for more because it costs more. And
I
it's so
agree.
funny, but they are blaming the industry, shrinkflation and price gouging. No,
Well, because
it's oh my gosh.
they point to the fact that, well, they still make major profits. Hello, do you go into business to not make profit? No,
Exactly.
of course you want to make profit.
Exactly.
Please. Oh, I don't know. That just aggravates the shit out of me. Yeah, okay, I'm sorry. So I'm gonna take a loss every day for you to like yell at me some more. Yeah, no,
Right.
no, no. Okay, here goes. I can feel my blood pressure already starting to go. But you know what? I'm gonna save the national debt to the end, because then I think that's the perfect segue into why you need to be the hell off fiat. And then we'll bring you in with your charts there. But Joe, you've heard of BRICS, obviously, right?
Yes.
Yeah, everybody in this space probably has already heard of BRICS, and they just had another meeting. They did a whole BRICS pay thing, and I'm going to bring up the lady I love to bring up, Lena Petrova. She's going to kind of explain what happened with regard to that, and I mean, you got to think. All of these countries around the globe are seeing the de-dollarization going on. They're seeing, or they're causing the de-dollarization, because they see what's going on with our national debt. They see how our dollar is just like in a way, you know what I'm saying? So why would they not have other options, or put themselves in a position to have other options? I mean, right? I mean, does that only make sense? Anyway, let's bring, hold on, I'm gonna bring her up and we're gonna give her a listen. It's not really, I think it's maybe a minute long. I cut out all the other pieces, but if you want to watch the whole thing, link is in the description. And you can go ahead and watch her entire video. But let's see if I got it up there. Yeah, there it is. Okay. So let's let her start talking about it.
During the BRICS Business Forum at the International Trade Center in Moscow that was held on October the 17th through October the 18th, a new BRICS Pay card was revealed for the first time. It is part of a new BRICS Pay transaction settlement system, so the card itself is just a small fraction of what is to come and what the BRICS bloc is currently working on. Just as intended, BRICS Pay provides the bloc's member countries with expanded payment options. During the conference, every single person who was in attendance had an opportunity to test this new BRICS Pay card. I believe that each card had a balance on it that allowed an individual to get a coffee or get a light meal. It could be used during the forum on October the 17th through October the 18th in stores with special BRICS Pay markings. To activate that money, one needed to register in the system and then just scan the QR code of the card itself. To make a payment, once the registration was complete, a person needed to scan that QR code from the screen of the employee's phone in the cafe or store from the payment system. So it was quite easy and very, very convenient.
All right, I'm gonna cut it there, but you get the point. Not only have they created an entirely new system, but how like super easy is it to take your phone, scan a QR code, and then you want to make a payment? Boop, scan a QR code.
Yep. And most people are already doing that already. You go to the convenience store. Granted, I don't, but most people, I just see them do their little tap thing, and boop, they're gone. It's like,
yeah,
wow. So yeah, they're making it very, very easy.
And that, on a side note, that's the kind of ease we need here in the cryptocurrency space. Just saying.
Oh yeah.
And some of it does exist. There are a lot of payment rails now where you can scan QR codes, but those are still, as far as I'm aware, correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, but more centralized options. They're not, like on the DeFi side of things, which to me is where we should be with crypto.
Right.
Just saying. What do I know? Crazy. Hey, Alexander in the house. What's going on, man? Appreciate you being here, my friend. All right. So those are the first couple of things I had. But then I thought, listen, the banks have got, and I've done a lot of live streams recently about banks being over leveraged, how they're having to hold more on their balance sheets. to compensate for like these commercial losses and that are pending and all this other stuff. And then I saw this tweet right here. And it says major U.S. bank discreetly shutters 132 branches this year. And here you go. Bank of America basically closed 132 branches between January and September. And the full article link is in the tweet. So go ahead. You can get that tweet down in the description. But it's kind of funny. Bank of America, who's constantly getting fined for money laundering, but let's not get me going about that. It is sitting here knowing what's coming, and that's kind of my point. These banks know what's coming. The handwriting's on the wall. Don't think for 1 second that they're not in contact with the Fed and this, that, and the other thing, and they're not saying, okay, we need to buffer this collapse that's coming as much as humanly possible. Right. And this, to me, is just one of their ways of doing that by, slowly closing. And it's ironic. It wasn't Bank of America. It was Santander closed a bunch of branches around me recently. So it's not just them, but it's like all of these banks are kind of like, let's go, let's corral the wagons here. And you know what I mean? Crazy. Are you seeing it in your area, Joe?
Not so much, but I know about the banks. I know that they do that. I know that they get, they loan out more than they can, or they get in debt. Like, how does a bank get in debt? Like, I
know it is. I know it doesn't make sense.
If you don't have the money to loan out, how do you loan it out? And then when you do loan it out, of course, you get all the interest and everything. But then, I'm just so. This is why I love crypto. Because it's to get away from the banks. So.
And it's so funny. You just segued without even knowing you did it. You just segued into the next piece, which I found and I thought was great. So how do we get out of this? Well, what about crypto? And then I saw this. Have you seen this? No. That Avalanche just put, partnered with Visa. And now you can spend these cryptos right here with an Avalanche Visa card anywhere Visa is accepted. You see it? Have you seen that?
No.
Yeah. Isn't that great?
It is.
I mean, we need more of that in this space too. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying Visa's the way to, what's the word I want? Adopt crypto. Right. That's not what I'm saying. But I think this can be one rail. Right. Especially for people who are my age or older, right. who are not necessarily wanting to deal with, wallets and addresses and all this other kind of stuff. As long as you make it
easy, and that's one thing that holds people back is, I got to go to this place that you call an exchange. I have to deposit money on there. Like, is it a bank? Like, what is it safe? And then you have to write down a passphrase, and it's tedious work. Granted, it's a few steps, but I remember when I first started, I was like, man, this is dumb. I don't want to write down this passphrase. 22 words or whatever. It's dumb. And then, of course, I had to do another one. It's like, why am I doing this is dumb. But now it's like, man, these are my keys. Like,
yeah. Now you understand. Yeah. And but you're right. You started saying what you started saying is correct. The simpler it is, the more people are going to use it. It's that simple. It's that simple. And Alexander, I don't disagree with you, my friend. The banks are going to go down, especially the retail banks. I mean, we might keep those, Fed type bank scenarios in for a bit longer. But yes, retail banks are going to down the bucket, I think, within the next decade or so. The unit coming up, 40% gold, 60% basket of currencies on the BRICS. Yes. And the 40% gold thing that Alexander's pointing out here was something we talked about in that interview with Daniel Diaz on Matrix Money podcast last week. Basically, he was explaining in that interview that once you get that 40% gold mix in there, it stabilizes the currency. Now, I'm not going to say I'm smart enough to comprehend all of that, but I guess it's worked in the past, and the way he explained it made a lot of sense. So I'm going to say yes, he's right. I'm going to go.
And I'll second that.
Yes, he had it right. All right. Time for the Time to get the blood pressure going here. First off, no, you know what? We're gonna push that off one more little second there, Joe. Let's take a look at the fear and greed index. Seeing we were just talking about crypto. Now, honestly, this does give me a little bit of stress. I'm not gonna lie, because I mean, 72, Joe.
Yeah.
Everybody's being mighty greedy right now.
Yeah, Bitcoin is doing some work. Bitcoin is doing some work, and right now everybody's getting greedy. Now, granted, I haven't seen it really in the altcoins, which I've been saying this for weeks now. This is very, very weird. Like, normally when Bitcoin's going up and the greed's going up, I mean, you're getting 15, 20% on your altcoins, but you're looking at 2%, 8%, and then it retraces 6, 8%. And so it's, but yeah, I saw that this morning. It was at 74 this morning, and now it's at 72. But it's gonna get higher, you know, because Bitcoin's making some moves. So we'll see.
I hear you. Hey, look, we got Obi-Wan in the house.
Hey,
Welcome,
Obi-Wan. What's up, buddy?
Alexander saying short BTC. Well, I'll tell you what, we'll hold off on that. Joe's gonna go through the whole BTC chart in a minute.
Yes,
but
definitely.
I will say this, Joe. You know what Warren Buffett says? Be fearful when others are greedy, and greedy when others are fearful. Right now, I don't know. Should we be fearful? Is the question, I guess.
It's not the same. Like I said, like before, normally if the alts were doing really well, I'd be saying take profits. But there's no profits to take. I mean, if you're up 4%, I mean, let's try to get 8. You know, it's really tough right now. And then you have some that are up, 20%, but that's 1 out of 1,000. So yeah, the odds aren't with you.
I get you. All right, now we're gonna get everybody's blood pressure going. But before we do that, if you're liking what we're putting out right now, make sure you smash up that like button. Appreciate that. And if you're not already following Joe over here, the link to his YouTube channel is in the description. Make sure you go do that. We're gonna let you Joe tell everybody what he does a little bit later, because first we're gonna get everybody's blood pressure up, and then we'll have to bring it back down there. So,
let's go. Let's do that blood pressure.
All right. First off, we're gonna start with what was it last week when you and I were live. So let me just zoom this in here real quick. There we go. So you can see that when we were live last week, it was 35,771 billion. God, I have to actually think when I say those numbers. Those numbers are so damn high. I'm just saying. Just saying.
We need Elon Musk. Elon Musk is going to take that sucker down. He said
let's hope
2 trillion. So
is that what he's saying?
Yeah.
I'll do it. I'll take it. I'll take it.
Yeah. And not only that, but if we could just not increase it and slowly decrease it, that's good for me. We don't have to get all crazy and do like 10 trillion in 4 years. No, just decrease it slowly, but don't increase it. Don't add to it.
Don't add to it. Exactly. Right now, we're adding $1 trillion approximately every 90 days. And here we go. We are at 771. We're now at 35,831 billion. Holy crap. That's over $60 billion in 1 week.
So I have a question. We're in debt to who?
That's a great question. I mean, I'm going to say everybody, but I don't know.
The national debt. The national debt is.
Yeah, I don't know who owns the most treasuries. So, like, I would assume it's China. I would assume it's Japan. I would assume, help me. I'm having a brain cramp. I can see the country. I'm having a brain cramp. Anyway, but I would assume those are the 2 major holders. What does
the U.S. do? Because I don't know. The U.S. buys loans from them, and then they give us money. How does that even work? Do you even?
So basically, the U.S. sells its treasuries. They buy the treasuries, and exactly, and then we're paying the interest on that. They're collecting the interest on that, which is the interest, the $1 trillion in interest that's going up every. So in a nutshell. Now there may be other stuff, so please.
Yeah, they print
go ahead,
paper.
Joe.
They print a paper, so if it's electronic, So it's a bond. It's the treasury bond. So it's something that's imaginary. We give it to them. They pay us for it. Then because they gave us money for it, we're paying them interest on the loan.
Pretty much.
Okay.
That's a high level. Yes. I think that's the best way to describe it without getting way in the weeds. And honestly, I couldn't even get enough in the weeds to be where I would dare to be accurate. So, but
to me,
yes,
it doesn't make any sense. Like, why would we sell a treasury bonds to somebody to give us money that we have to pay interest to because they gave us the money when we print money?
it's this big. Yes.
Why don't
Thank
we?
you.
Why don't we buy the? Why don't we take a loan for the bonds so we're paying interest to ourselves?
Well, we do that because at some point when people don't buy the bonds because the Fed is the buyer of last resort. So, as a matter of fact, that was another thing we were talking about on the Matrix Money podcast with Daniel. Is then it becomes a big kind of circle jerk where you're basically buying up money that you're printing because then you got to pay interest on the money that you're printing because you're buying the money because you got, and it's just this big ass circle, which is why our current fiat system is a Ponzi scheme.
Yes,
it's a Ponzi scheme. That straight. I
mean,
I can't say
it doesn't
anything
make
better than
any
that.
sense to sell it to somebody else. So now we're indebted to them and getting in debt ourselves when we can just
All countries do it, Joe.
Just to do the circle for, because that's what we're doing already. So I mean, we could literally, like, heck, man, I'm Elon Musk right now. We can literally reduce our debt because now we're paying ourselves, which we can pay. And then same thing too with the income tax. Why do we pay income tax?
Well,
why?
That's a whole nother discussion right there.
So it to me, I don't know enough about the economy. I don't know enough about the debt and all that fun stuff for it to make sense, because to me it doesn't make any sense.
You're right. And it's not like they teach you about it in school or anything like that. They don't want you to know, because if they can keep it convoluted enough, they can keep pulling the wool over our eyes long enough to keep robbing from us the way they're doing with inflation.
And we talked about this last time where there was a young girl, first time she got a check or whatever, and she's like,
oh yeah,
wait a minute, the income tax and federal tax and everything gets taken out of my check, and then when I buy something I get taxed on it, and the person I bought it from, they get taxed on that, and then the dollar
Well, that's why, and I'm going to say his name because I don't give a shit. When Trump put out recently that he's floated the idea about no more income tax, that's why everybody was like, woo, doggy, because they were doing the Trump dance there, because because think about that alone. That alone would give you like what? A 25% raise instantly, 28, 30, depending on what your tax bracket is, instantly. Hey, Jar is in the house. Welcome, Jar. Appreciate you being here, man. And Obi-Wan saying, yeah, you're in debt to your future self. Yeah, amen. Which is why I take that money and I put it aside for my grandkids, because I'll be dead. I'll be dust, and they're the ones who are going to suffer. So yeah. And Alexander saying, yeah, we got it straight. So there you go. Okay. All I'm going to keep saying, like I say every time we take a look at the debt, if that doesn't piss you off, you are certainly in the wrong place. Okay. That being said,
but if you vote for a certain somebody, you can get what, 15,000 for a new house or something.
Yeah. Which will just add to our debt.
But just 15,000.
Yeah. Nothing. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness. Okay. How do you get out of this? Well, you could live on crypto. Link to the Living on Crypto series in this description, or you could do trading on crypto like Joe does. And Joe's going to go through Bitcoin right now, and then we'll go from there. You ready, Joe? You good to go?
Let's do it.
All right, there it is.
All right, so we have Bitcoin right here. Bitcoin is doing some things. Of course, early this morning, it started moving, and I was telling the group, I said, okay, more than likely to come up here, come down, because coming up, we have all these areas of liquidity, and more than likely to come down. Nope. Bitcoin decided to do something else. Bitcoin does what Bitcoin does. It's kind of like your crazy ex. Like you never know what's going to do or what they're going to do. So
Happy Monday.
Yeah. So it went up, broke our 75% level, kept on coming up. Now, me personally, I have 2 shorts right here at this level. Do I think it'll reach it? I hope it does. But this is in case, all the FOMO starts happening and it starts coming up. These are my liquidity zones. So I moved my box. So oh wait, my areas are down here. Let me fix this. So these are my areas. These are my liquidity zones between, we can say 69.7 and 69.9. And then we have another level of 70.6 to about 70.9. And for here, this is where I think the price may go to before it comes down, if it breaks our weekly high. Now, our weekly high is a targeted weekly high based off of market structure. This is saying that this, even though it's a resistance level, we're more likely to break up than to get rejected from it and come down. Now, anything can happen at any time. Anybody who tells you that they know what's going to happen, you might want to be careful with that. Here on the 4-hour time frame, we can see that we have a bottom and then another bottom. So you can say this is either a double bottom or a low and a higher low. The main thing that we're looking at is this level of resistance, which was at our 75% level. It did break above. So for me personally, I would really like to see, and I'm always updating this. Every day I update this. I would like to see it come up, then come down, do a higher low, come up, get my shorts, and then come down, do a lower low, start coming down here to the daily fair value gap and also the 4-hour fair value gap. But only time will tell. Only time will tell. But this is my thought process on Bitcoin right now. Even though it is going up, there's a lot of people that might FOMO into this. So if I do see
the fear and greed index.
Yeah, if I do see it coming up, 69.8, 70, 70, 0, these are going to be my areas for my short. And then we'll see if it makes it up here. If not, we might get rejected around this level where it's currently at and come down. But it's just, level by level. But
Gotcha.
I don't see us going to 100K, not today. But so just be very careful, guys. Be very careful with the FOMO. Once it breaks this weekly high, there's a lot of people that are going to start entering the trade because everybody, we're going to, like, that was it. Let's go. But we have our liquidity zones up here, which I think it will hit and then come down, because the market makers, what they do, not to be long-winded, but the market makers, what they do is they love to, there's a lot of sell orders wherever you have a high. Like here we have a high. Here we have a high. Here, and of course there's something called a liquidity heat map, and it shows you areas where there's a lot of selling pressure. Now, if you just look at your chart, you can see it without looking at the liquidity heat map. There was a lot of people who sold right here, and there's a lot of sell orders right here at 73.7, 72.7, 72.0.
Yeah, right.
There's a lot of sell orders right here. Yeah. So when the price comes here, more than likely it might go break the first one, come to the second one, and then come down, and then come up again, get this one, then come down again. And all the thing that's happening is liquidity. The market makers are liquidating people, because once it starts going here, everybody starts getting super bullish, and then the market makers will dump it. And this is what I'm kind of referring to. It comes up, then goes up, and then comes down, and then it starts going up, and people, oh, here it is, that's long, and then it comes down again. So we'll see. Like I said, level by level.
Yep.
That's my thought process on Bitcoin.
Awesome. Well, thank you for putting that out there. It doesn't look like we had any questions on that. So great. Super. Joe, I mean, I don't know. And well, you know what? This is a good time to put out there that if you like what he just put, what he just put out, and I'll tell you what, he makes it super simple, in my opinion, in order to follow that. You need to see him every day. He does it for free every day, 3 p.m. Eastern time. So Joe, tell him Give him the scoop there, buddy.
Yeah, so I go live every day, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I go over Bitcoin. I go over your coins. I go over charts. If the chart has a nice setup, I give you that information as far as when to enter, how to enter. Of course, none of it's financial advice, but I let you know how to protect yourself. And that's the main thing is, risk management. It's super, super important. Whenever we do a chart setup, I show you where to have your stop loss. I show you where to have your targets. If it's not ready, well, then I show you where to have your alert. And then, of course, you check in the next day and you say, oh, can you check the chart? Yeah, we'll check it and we'll update you. But the main thing is to make you money, and we do this every day, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, if you could bring back my chart or my thing, I want to show people something real quick. So I actually saw this on Piper Academy this morning. I love Piper Academy. They are an awesome group of people. Of course, this morning, I think it was like at 6:30, they have an early morning show, and I happened to catch them, and they were talking about Celestia, and the ticker is TIA, and everybody needs to be aware of this. There is going to be a huge token unlock, and the amount of tokens that are going to be unlocked is the most I've ever seen in one unlock. So if we come over here to, let's go to, so we're just going to run through this really quick. This is CryptoRank.io. And then you come over here, you do your search, but it gives you an overview, shows you the chart, shows you the market cap, fully diluted market cap, shows you the current circulating supply, which is roughly around 20%. Tells you when the next unlock is in about 2 days. And then, of course, they have more information here. And then what I like doing is this part right here. This is very important. This is vesting. This is when the tokens get unlocked. What's the importance of knowing this? The importance of knowing this is when tokens get into the system from early investors. They're called seed rounds or seed investors, angel investors. What they do is they sell their tokens because they're at a huge profit, whether it's 5x, 100x, 200x sometimes. So they sell to the market. Now, depending where we're at in the market, if we're in the bullish market, it might affect it, but not as much because people, they're buying it. Oh, there's a 15% dip. Let me buy it because I like the project. But right now, the market's not great. We talked about that earlier today in the show where, we're up 5%, like 8%, and then it goes down. Here, they're going to, let me show you this, guys. This is nuts. Let's see here. So for the unlock in 2 days, it's going to be 79.3% of the market cap.
Holy
almost
crap.
80%. They're going to have I'm getting goosebumps right now, guys. They're going to have 100% of their tokens flooding the market. Now, because of that, okay, well, the price currently is $5. It's right here, $5. That's the current price. Now, if you go to the fundraising, this is how much they bought it for. So the seed round bought it for 1 cent. Do you think they're going to sell? They're going to sell on you.
Hell yeah.
You. That's almost a 500x. The people who bought in the Series A round, that's at 9 cents. They're going to sell on you. The people who bought it for $1, they're going to sell on you.
Hell
so
yeah.
With that being said, knowing about token unlocks is extremely important. And right now, I'm in a short, very little money just because the market makers, they already know that we're shorting. So they may push up the coin quite a bit, maybe to 650, maybe 750, so that they could liquidate all the people who are shorting. So definitely have a stop loss, be patient, not financial advice, of course, but they may push it up to about 750 before the dump really starts. But I'm in the short, like I said, mentioned, very low, I think like a 2x leverage, something like that, something crazy low, just to be safe. But I do have a stop loss so that if it does break the level, and we can say around 4.699. If it breaks this level, then of course I will re-enter the trade. If I got stopped out, I'll re-enter the trade because that it would have already washed out all the people who got liquidated. Price comes down, and then more than likely it'll dump. And I'm thinking it's going to dump to maybe $1. We'll see.
I'll bet you could even go below that with all the, you're talking like, holy crap, that's a lot
80%.
of liquidity.
That is crazy.
I can't believe that.
I've never seen that. I've seen, a decent amount, but not even 50%. This one's 80% all at once, flooding the market. So in my opinion, shorting this would be maybe a good idea, but again, not financial advice. Be very careful. Have your stop losses in place for the reasons that I mentioned earlier. The market makers may push it up just to liquidate everybody and then just make it come down. But 80% of the total supply is going to be released in 2 days, and it's gonna be nuts.
Yes, it is. So be aware. Joe, thank you for putting that out there. I mean, there you go. You guys just got some serious alpha info right there. Thank you, Joe. Appreciate that.
Yeah, definitely.
Appreciate that. Well, guys, that's pretty much what we got. Listen, we're here every Monday, 10 a.m. Eastern time, doing this kind of thing. And, pretty much we're talking always about Bitcoin and the crypto markets. But I mean, and of course, the debt, but I don't want to go back there because, I'm starting to feel a little calmer now. So, I don't want to get myself all worked up again. Hey, Dave in the house, you made it for the end there, brother.
What's going on, Dave? Appreciate you, man, being here.
And Automatic Beats, awesome. So thank you, man. I appreciate you saying that. Appreciate it. So, Joe, anything else you got going on this week that you want to tell everybody about before we wrap up?
Just be very careful trading wise, because the elections are coming up. It's going to get very crazy. Make sure to have stop losses in place. I would not recommend shorting. I was in a short. We're only for 2 days. We moved up our stop loss super tight. We got stopped out at a loss, but very, very minimum, just because I only wanted to be in that short for 2 days. The 2 days came and I said, move the stop loss. Let's get out of it. So cut your losses short and fast. And just be very careful. I would not recommend any shorts just because of what we're gonna, be coming into.
We got some volatility.
People will start FOMOing. Yeah, people will start FOMOing. And then if you are in a long, make sure to have stop losses because again, the market makers love to hit that liquidity. So
hell yeah,
just be careful.
And there you go. Say, Dave, I appreciate you being here, Dave. Thanks, man. Wait, what's the alert for TIA?
What do you mean? What's the alert? If you're referring to
shorting it.
Yeah. So you can go back to my chart.
Yep. 1 second. Yep.
Yeah. So you just here we have a double bottom. So if I would recommend, like for me personally, I'm already in it. I'm front running this break of 4.754. And then that's where I would enter. And then I'd have my stop loss super tight, depending on the amount of leverage you have, just because the market makers may push it up. And then if you get stopped out, you get stopped out. Don't worry about it. Re-enter once it breaks that same level, because they may bring it all the way up. And then let's say you had a 20% stop loss at a 2 or 4x leverage, or multiple entries. You just lost a lot of money. But instead of doing that, just have a stop loss super tight. You get stopped out, don't worry. You re-enter the trade, and then sure enough, it'll start going. But so that would be my level, right around 4.74, right on that area where this double bottom's at.
Okay, awesome. Thanks, Joe.
But yeah, we do this all the time on my channel, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So definitely check us out. We go over coins. I show you how to do fundamental analysis, tokenomics, technical analysis. I show you all the things that you need to do to make some money in this crypto space.
He does, and he makes it simple. And there you go. Thank you. Yeah. Joe loves to do it, man. Joe.
Oh yeah.
Loves charts like I ain't never seen. I get I'll glaze over after a while. I just do. Excuse me, I just can't do it. But yeah, Alexander appreciates that. Anything else you want to throw out there, Joe? And then I'll give them my quick skinny what's coming up this week, and then we'll get out of here.
That's about it. Just be careful, guys. Always have a stop loss, and don't feel like you have to be in a trade. Do not FOMO. Short or long.
That's important.
Yes,
that's important. All right. So for me, this is it for today. I'm actually going to be working because guess what came in? I'm going to be working on my video because my Tangent ring just arrived, baby. So we're going to be doing that video, putting that together. And so watch for that. That's coming soon. I'm going to be doing the next video, probably releasing it on Thursday for the what is, I think, next to last help me, speaker from the Free State Bitcoin Digital Asset Conference. So that's coming. But more importantly, tomorrow night, 6 p.m., we're going to be doing a premiere of our interview with Deeper Knot about Deeper Network. So if you're into DPIM projects, you want to know what's going on with the Deeper Network, Matrix Money podcast, tomorrow night, 6 p.m. You can catch it on all of our channels. We'll be live in the chat because it's a recorded interview, but we'll be talking to you live in the chat. And then a couple of things. Joe mentioned, Joe mentioned the election night. We got a lot of stuff. Let's just say I took the following day off of everything because I know it's going to be a long day. Okay. So next Tuesday, 6 p.m. on the Matrix Money podcast, we got Crypto Billy. He's going to be talking about Billy Goat Tales. He's going to be talking about how he's put this business together. He's going to be talking about his children's book. He's going to be talking about the giver's gain philosophy. All kinds of stuff coming next Tuesday, 6 p.m. Matrix Money podcast. It's going to be huge. Make sure you're there for that. But that's election night. So right after that, 8 p.m., I'm going to be going live. We're going to have a lot of the guys here, as well as I'm inviting a bunch of other people. We'll see who shows up, but we're going live. We're going to watch the election results as they come in. We're starting at 8 p.m. when the polls start to close. We're going to be using the Louder with Crowder and the Dan Bongino streams primarily to get our info because I'd like to have it not otherwise mainstream media. Let's put it that way. But we may need to use some mainstream media as we go because there are some state races I'd like to see, like for example, Elizabeth Warren and John Deaton. So I don't think we'll be able to follow them necessarily on those. So, but make sure you join us. You can actually, if there's enough room, you can come join us live on that stream. But I'd love to have you in the chat. We're going to be talking everything election. And my plan is to stay live until it's over. My head hits the computer, but because I just can't stay up. But because old guy. So make sure you're around for that. And then of course, don't forget this coming Friday before that, we got Crypto on the Rocks, and you got to be here for Crypto on the Rocks because Crypto on the Rocks. Joe knows.
Lots of fun.
Lots of fun. All right, man. That's it. Again, we're here every Monday, 10 a.m. Eastern. But we're out because I'm gonna go see my granddaughter right now. So nice. I hope everybody has a great week, and I will see you tomorrow night. Joe will see you at 3 p.m. So make sure you're joining him. Again, link to his channel in the description. Yeah, that's right. Eastern Standard Time. All right, we're out. I hope you have a great week. Take care, everybody. Yeah.